While you cut your budget because of rising food, medicine, and utility prices, the companies behind those bills are setting revenue records. The Aztecs solved all three 500 years ago, before any of these companies existed, and owed nothing to anyone. 5 of those solutions were suppressed by lobbyists in the 1960s. 2 are now sold back to you under different names at a premium. In the next few minutes, you will learn all 20 and understand why these corporations worked so hard to make sure you never would. Before we start, hit subscribe, because what you are about to learn could save serious money and change how you grow food, treat illness, and run your household. Let us count them down. Number 20. Chia seeds as a complete meal. The Aztecs called chia seeds zoali, and they paid tribute to their emperor in chia, 20 units of chia per year per household, documented in the Codex Mendoza. A single tablespoon mixed with water sustained a warrior through an entire day of combat. 1 ounce contains more omega-3 fatty acids than salmon, and more calcium than milk. Spanish colonizers banned the crop in 1519, and it nearly vanished for 400 years. When it resurfaced in the 1990s, health food companies charged $12 a pound for something that grows like a weed in any warm garden. Your grocery store sells you back a crop that Aztec families grew for free. Number 19. Nopal cactus as a blood sugar regulator. The Aztecs cultivated nopal on rooftops, walls, and terraces, anywhere a pad could take root. They ate it before meals specifically to control hunger and energy. We now know why. Nopal reduces blood sugar response by up to 30% after eating. Clinical studies in the last decade confirm exactly what Aztec families understood by observation. Metformin, the most prescribed diabetes drug in America, costs $40 a month for patients without insurance. The plant that does the same thing grows wild across the American Southwest and costs nothing to grow. The American Diabetes Association does not mention nopal in its dietary guidelines. It does not recommend anything you cannot buy. Number 18. Amaranth as a protein source. Amaranth was the sacred grain of the Aztec Empire. It had higher protein than wheat or corn, produced multiple harvests per season, and grew in poor soil with almost no water. Spanish colonizers outlawed it because it fed people independently of the colonial food system. Fields were destroyed, and the crop survived only in remote villages beyond the reach of enforcement. Today, health food stores sell it at $8 a pound as an ancient grain. This is the same crop colonial authorities tried to eliminate because it made people food independent. Number 17. Epazote for digestive health. Every Aztec kitchen grew epazote, a pungent herb added to bean dishes, not for flavor, but for function. The compounds in epazote break down the sugars in beans that cause bloating, and the plant contains natural anti-parasitic compounds the Aztecs used to treat intestinal infections. Pharmaceutical anti-parasitic medications cost $40 a course. Epazote grows as a weed across most of North America. Modern nutrition guides do not mention it, because no company profits from a weed you can pick off the ground. Here is where things get really interesting. Everything up to this point has been about food and medicine, things corporations replaced with products. But number 16 is different. This one was not replaced. It was buried, because what the Aztecs understood about soil would eliminate the need for an entire industry. Number 16. Chinampa soil building. The floating garden system of Tenochtitlan produced 7 harvests per year from a bed the size of a dining table, with no synthetic fertilizer and no irrigation. The secret was the soil itself, built from layers of lake sediment, aquatic vegetation, and composted organic matter that created a continuous capillary water system. The growing medium fed itself. The fertilizer industry spent decades teaching farmers that soil was just a medium for holding chemical inputs. Every bag of fertilizer you buy is a replacement for a biological system that the Aztecs maintained without spending anything. University soil science departments have been quietly rediscovering Chinampa principles for 30 years, and publishing findings that the industry consistently fails to promote. Number 14. Tila chiquero, pulque as a probiotic. Pulque, the fermented sap of the maguey plant, was the everyday drink of the Aztec working class. It was not simply alcohol. Freshly fermented pulque contains live bacterial cultures comparable to yogurt, B vitamins, and minerals that a corn-heavy diet lacked. Children drank diluted pulque. Nursing mothers drank it to support milk production. The Spanish introduced distilled spirits and discouraged pulque because a population that could produce its own nutritious drink from a plant that grew everywhere was a population that needed less from colonial merchants. Today, the probiotic supplement industry generates $4 billion a year, selling bacterial cultures in capsule form. The maguey plant grows across the American Southwest and produces the same cultures for free. Number 12. Copal as an air purifier. Copal resin was burned in every Aztec home, temple, and market. The smoke was understood to purify the air and prevent illness. Modern analysis of copal smoke shows it contains compounds that reduce airborne bacterial and fungal concentrations. The antimicrobial properties of certain tree resins, including copal, have been confirmed in laboratory studies. Air purifier companies sell electric devices for $300 that do what a piece of resin and a clay dish accomplished in an Aztec kitchen for nothing. The resin is still available at traditional markets throughout Mexico and Central America for a few cents per piece. Number 10. Maguey fiber as a construction material. The maguey plant provided fiber that Aztec builders used for rope, textiles, roofing material, and insulation. Its leaves contain fibers stronger than hemp, and they have natural water resistance. Today, modern composite materials companies sell insulation and construction products made from plant fibers at premium prices. They market these as sustainable innovation. The Aztecs were building with maguey fiber while Europe was still using thatch. The plant grows across the American Southwest, and it requires no irrigation or fertilizer once established. Number 8. Avocado as a complete fat source. The Aztecs cultivated avocado as a primary fat source, eaten daily, used as a skin treatment, and mixed into preparations for treating wounds and burns. The fat profile of avocado is nearly identical to olive oil. The oleic acid it contains reduces inflammation and supports cardiovascular health by the same mechanisms. The Aztecs did not need olive oil imports. They had a tree that produced fruit year-round in their climate and required almost no cultivation. The avocado industry in its current form, charging $4 per fruit in northern supermarkets, would make no sense to anyone who understood that the tree produces hundreds of fruits per season and can be grown in any warm climate with minimal effort. Number 6. Community seed saving as agricultural independence. Every Aztec farming community maintained seed banks, locally adapted seeds saved from the best plants each season, and traded seeds between communities for genetic diversity. This made every family agriculturally independent. Monsanto introduced the first commercial hybrid seed in 1926. By 1970, the Plant Variety Protection Act gave seed companies legal ownership of seed varieties. Farmers who saved proprietary seed could be sued. Today, 5 companies control 60% of the global seed supply, and farmers buy new seed every spring for crops their grandparents saved freely for generations. The Aztec seed bank system is now called seed sovereignty, and it is treated as a radical political position. It was once simply how farming worked. Number 4. Wild herb medicine as primary health care. Aztec healers used over 1,000 plant species therapeutically. It was documented by Spanish friar Bernardino de Sahagún in the 16th century, who spent decades recording Aztec medical knowledge before colonial authorities ordered much of it destroyed. Many of those compounds have since been isolated, synthesized, and sold as pharmaceuticals for hundreds of dollars per course. The plant cannot be patented. The molecule can. Herbal medicine was labeled quackery by the American Medical Association, not because it failed, but because it worked too well to leave room for a profitable alternative. Number 2. Rainwater harvesting as water independence. Aztec cities collected rainwater in cisterns and filtered it through gravel and charcoal before storage. Spanish engineers arriving in 1519 documented the Tenochtitlan water system as more sophisticated than anything in Europe. Municipal water utilities in the United States generate $40 billion a year. 7 states restrict or prohibit residential rainwater collection, specifically to protect that revenue. The system that the Aztecs operated for free is illegal to replicate in significant portions of this country. Number 1. Community exchange as economic independence. The greatest Aztec hack was not a food or a medicine. It was the Chinampa hack, the marketplace system that operated on principles of direct exchange and community interdependence, and it made every participant less dependent on any single source for any basic need. Families grew or produced what they were best positioned to produce, and traded directly with neighbors for everything else. No intermediary took a cut. No company extracted profit from the transaction. The encomienda system imposed by Spanish colonizers was designed specifically to break up this network and replace it with debt-based dependency on colonial merchants. The modern economy is a sophisticated version of the same system. It functions by ensuring that you cannot meet your basic needs without purchasing from someone who profits from that transaction. The Aztec Tlanamacacks proved that an alternative was possible. 5 centuries later, the corporations that replaced it are still working to make sure you forget it ever existed. I tested these. I grow epazote in a pot on my kitchen windowsill, and I add it to every pot of beans. My grocery bill dropped the month I started using the Three Sisters method in my garden. I bought raw cacao powder and mixed it with water and chili, the way the Aztecs drank it. My kids thought I had lost my mind until they tried it and asked for more. Here is my challenge. Try one of these this week. Grow nopal on a windowsill. Add epazote to your next pot of beans. Buy raw cacao and taste what the Aztecs were actually drinking. Then tell me in the comments which one surprised you most. Because these were not primitive practices. They were solutions that entire industries were built on to make you forget. The Aztecs knew. Now you know too.